Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting here after Carlisle have bottled a 2-goal lead to draw 2-2 at home to Stevenage. And look, I'm finding it hard to care too much about results these days, but you know, there's a way of dealing with getting beat 2 or 3-0 every single week, and you justify that by saying they're just not good enough. They didn't deserve anything out of it, but they say it's the hope that kills you, and going 2-0 up against quite a good team in this division. Yes, they've struggled recently, but still a fairly decent team at this level. To go 2-0 up and being 2-0 up going in the 80th minute, and then to not get all 3 points from it is, it's demoralising is the word I would use. And look, it doesn't matter really at the end of the day because we're going down regardless, but Stevenage fans were chanting at the end of the game, that's why you're going down. And to be honest with you, I had half a heart to join in with them because they're right. This is why we're going down, because there's a weak mentality within the squad. And I think it's been there from day one, and that includes from the manager. When you talk up teams and you almost say and admit that they're better than you from day one of this season, you minimise yourself and you make yourself sound lesser than other teams, and that's the mentality that we've gone into this season. We go into games thinking that we're going to get beat because we go into games thinking that the other team is better than us and that they have more right to be in this league than us. And look at, going off this season, they probably do, but and that's just the way it felt. And look, it's not a loss, which is a change from recent results, but it almost feels worse than some of the losses we've had this season, and to concede such late on. And look, should it have been a penalty? Probably not. Should we have then gone and lost anyways? No, we shouldn't have. And look, I know it's fun to make fun of Bradford fans after what happened last season, and even what's happening this season for them, but I think they might have got the last laugh by selling us this goalkeeper, and I've tried to defend him a lot, but I think there were 3 shots on target today. One was the penalty, which, you can't really blame the keeper too much for. One was a shot that went in, and one was the shot that he pushed out for the goal that did go in. He seems to concede every single shot on target, which isn't great for a keeper. And you look at that second goal for Stevenage today, it could have been avoided at the source if he'd have just come and claimed about... there was about 3 crosses coming into the box, especially the first one, which was kind of floated in. Any decent keeper at this level comes and gets that. And I don't know what it is with Paul Simpson and signing keepers who seemingly don't want to come for crosses. I think we had a decent one in Mark Howard. I think, look, you look at the keepers of recent times, I think Mark Howard, even Magnus Norman at times, Paul Farman, even Adam Collin, I think they're all better than the keepers Paul Simpson signed. Not in terms of shot stopping, but in terms of just coming for crosses, coming off the line, stopping problems, basic goalkeeping. Gabe Breeze seems to be a little bit better at it than the pair of them, but that's not really a Paul Simpson signing. But he signed Thomas Hawley, and despite his size, he was dreadful at it. And he's signed Harry Lewis now, who's dreadful at it as well. And it seems like we've signed a bit of a dud with him because, 32 goals now since he came in January. That's 2 months ago. Just to concede that many goals in that amount of time. It's sickening. And look, you look at Gabe Breeze and you think he was doing well. He was being commended for his goalkeeping efforts when he was in the squad. And I'm really not one for changing about keepers, but at this point it doesn't really matter because the results don't really matter. Long term, and he's just signed a new long term contract, so why not give Gabe Breeze till the end of the season? He at the very least does the basics right, which Harry Lewis doesn't seem to be able to do. And I kind of understood it in a way with Thomas Hawley because he didn't come for crosses, but he made some good saves. Harry Lewis doesn't do that. He doesn't come for the cross, and he doesn't make decent saves because every single shot on target seems to go in. Their first shot on target, I'm pretty sure, was the penalty. Which, again, soft penalty, you can't really... it's still a non-issue that should have been dealt with a lot easier than what it was. John Mellish messing about with it at the back, didn't deal with it properly, concedes a penalty. But look, yes, there are positives taken from this game, and I'm sure Paul Simpson will try and spin it that way. Because Danny Butterworth on the double, that first goal was a brilliant piece of build-up from Carlisle, and yes, it was Butterworth with the goal, but some brilliant passing, Charters to Neil to Ellis to, it was just a brilliant move all round, and it was the first real footballing goal I've seen us score this season, where, you just tap it about, brilliant, well-worked goal into the box, passed across for an easy finish. It was the first that kind of goal that I've seen of that calibre this season, and then obviously a bit of individual brilliance from Butterworth in the second one. And another issue I want to raise, how many times this season have we conceded immediately after making a substitution? I remember it happened against Shrewsbury was it Shrewsbury? The game before that was 3-2 Charlton it was. We conceded one of our goals immediately after bringing on Sean Maguire. It's happened a lot this season, and it's happened again today, where we bring on, we take off Dan Butterworth for some reason. You can say he was tired, but I think half of that team was, because they really had run themselves into the ground over the first 60 minutes. And substitutions should have happened, definitely, but bringing off Danny Butterworth for Jack Diamond. And look, Jack Diamond is a player that, he reminds me a little bit of when we signed Brennan Dickinson, where you can see he's got a bit of quality about him, but he's almost a bit of a luxury player. It's almost as if he thinks he's better than what he is, in a way. And look, Jack Diamond comes on for Butterworth, similar kind of players. He doesn't get stuck in. He doesn't, he shies out of tackles, and that's just something Jack Diamond does. He's a luxury player, which you can't really afford to have when you're in a relegation battle. We go 2-1 down pretty much immediately after he comes on. That's not me blaming him by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just weird that it keeps happening like that. Misses a big one-on-one chance that I've got to say I think Danny Butterworth scores, especially being on the hat-trick. And then we go on to concede, having made no more substitutions, and there's a few players that I definitely would have taken off. Taylor Charters, Dylan McGeoch both ran themselves into the ground and were absolutely shattered come the last 10. Yes, there's the issue of who do you put on for them. But look, Alfie McCalmont, he's full of energy whenever he's on the pitch. Why not put him on? I'm not even sure if he was on the bench, to be honest, but, he should have been anyways. But yeah, it's just, this season seems to be finding new ways to disappoint me. Like, if we'd have came in to this game, lost 2-0, hadn't really been great, I'd have come onto this channel and I said the same thing I do every week, that it doesn't really matter and that we're coming into next season, but there's a certain amount of, a certain gut-wrenching feeling of when you're 2-0 up, going into the final stage of the game and then you don't win it. It's been presented to me, then snatched away, is pretty much what's happened, and yeah, the team's found a new way to disappoint me. But yeah, on to Friday. We've clawed a point closer to safety, I suppose. I think the gap's now 15 instead of 16, and at the end of the day, the positive is we've scored 2 goals and it's not a loss, which is weirdly a welcome change from what's happened recently. But it just feels like a loss, and I'm sure for every single one of them players it'll feel like a loss as well. And you could tell it at the end, and you could tell it by the boo from the crowd that the fans just aren't happy at the minute, and I just want this season to end, to be honest. I want to get into the summer, I want to see some of these players leave, I want to see who stays, I want to see some new faces brought in, and I just want to get ready for a promotion push in League 2, because I'm absolutely sick of doing these videos and being so disappointed week in, week out, being at the foot of the League 1 table. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Please let me know yours in the comments below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.